Why not us? Oh, why not us? 'Cause I'm right here. And no, I'm not counting myself out. I'm getting there. Even if I gotta make my own route.
This is George Schwertl with The Gray Report, and I am here with my partner, Mark M.K.
Hello, everyone.
And we are here today interviewing Joann Waski for Riverhead Town Council. Joann, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being on the show. It's
Absolutely.
great. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff. You want us to a couple of questions?
Yeah, so, I got the chance to meet Joann at Diggers.
Yes.
A very friendly local place in Riverhead Main Street, a place where we consider Cheers, where everybody knows your name. I got a chance to watch you on the debate, and it was very I was very impressed with your delivery and some of your initiatives and what you're about. What inspired you to want to start running for councilwoman here in Riverhead?
Well, I've always been very involved in town. Since the time that I was a young girl, I used to go to a lot of the political functions. My family was very involved in politics, so I always had a good vibe of what was going on within the town. And then I was appointed to the planning board and as chairwoman. And I got on the planning board thinking, wow, I'm going to be able to, do great things and say no to this and no to that. And I suddenly realized that there's so much more that goes into it. It would be better for me to help the residents of the town to be on the town board as opposed to the planning board. So it's kind of a stepping stone. I'm already involved. I've learned so much. I'm on the job. I've been doing the job, and I feel that I can help the residents more on the town board.
Wow, that's really great that you said. I'm just reading a little bit about you. Now, you've been there for 50 years.
I am born and raised in Riverhead. I grew up in Aquabog. I am 50 years old, so I've been here my whole life.
Wow.
My husband, he has been here his whole life. He grew up in Riverhead, Aquabog, went to Aquabog School. We both graduated from Riverhead High School.
Wow, really? Riverhead High School, I think you said your mom and dad graduated from Riverhead High School.
My mom and dad graduated from Mercy High School in Riverhead.
Wow.
They both grew up in Riverhead. And my mother and father-in-law graduated from Riverhead High School. They both grew up in Calverton and Polish Town.
So I think you know a little bit about the town.
Just a little.
Just a little bit about Riverhead. Okay, I think you know. Wow. And you've been married, you said, for 27 years.
27 years, yes.
And
my
I have to
wonderful
throw this
husband,
in there
Patrick.
that you met your husband 30 years ago at Bernie's in Calverton.
I did. I hustled him for a game of pool.
30
and
years
I won.
Oh, that's right.
And I won that night as well because we've dated ever since that night, and I get to be his wife.
That's beautiful.
That's great. And you have 3 children with him.
We do. We have 25-year-old twins and a 21-year-old.
That's great. Wow.
I have a question.
Sure.
50 years in Riverhead. What inspired you to stay?
I have never wanted to leave. Honestly, I feel that Riverhead is one of the most beautiful places. And to see people that want to come here and vacation here and know that we live here,
Right.
that is so inspiring to me to want to stay. My family is here. My cousins, my aunts, my uncles. We all know each other. It takes me, an hour to go to the grocery store because all my friends are here and we're stopping and talking. And there's no other place that I would want to live. It's absolutely beautiful here.
So you have concerns. This is your backyard.
Correct. Yes.
This is your backyard. And again, just to jump onto, I saw on your palm card, tell us a little bit, no jet cargo port.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I think that there's kind of been a little bit of a fear factor put into the town by a certain group that has been telling people that there is going to be a jet port, a cargo port. The town board last week, actually each board member addressed the residents of Riverhead and said that there can be no cargo jet port in Calverton. It's not allowed. It's not zoned for it. And I feel kind of compelled to put on my palm card, no jet port, cargo port, even though they can't have one, because people are, I believe, being misled. And I want them to know that if there was the case of a cargo port coming to EPCAL, I would do everything in my power to fight that for the residents of Riverhead. I don't want jets going over my home.
I respect that. I respect that. And it sounds like you're speaking for all the residents.
Correct.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Is the noise one of your concerns too?
Absolutely. Those jets would be going right over Calverton and Wading River. They don't need that. That would disrupt their quality of life. And, I mean, if I'm concerned about it out in Jamesport, I can only imagine how the people in the surrounding area of EPCAL would feel about that. So they have my word that will not happen out there.
I like that. I like that. And I know that you obviously are pro law enforcement. Your husband was a police officer in the town of Riverhead for 28 years, I think you said?
Yes.
Okay.
He was a police detective when he retired after 28 years. My son is on the job for Riverhead now for a year and a half. I believe he's been out of the academy. So I am proudly endorsed by the Riverhead PBA, the Suffolk County PBA, and the Suffolk County Association, so for Police Association. So I definitely, they have my support. I would like more police officers to be hired in the town of Riverhead. We need to tighten up our security. There's a couple problem areas that have to be addressed, and overcrowded housing is also one of them. So there's a job to be done. We just need to support the police in order to get those things accomplished.
Sure. And thank you. I mean, we'll thank your husband and your son for their service. But again, people forget, thank you. I mean, you're the mom and wife at home.
That's true.
When they're out doing what they do, protecting, and a lot of people don't realize that you're biting your nails sometimes, wondering what's going on. And thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that.
I appreciate you recognizing that, because you have no idea how many Christmas mornings I've opened up presents with the kids by myself.
Sure.
Or there's a hurricane going on and my husband's running out the door and I'm left home.
Sure. No,
taking care
we
of
recognize that.
everything.
We recognize
So thank
that.
you.
And I think your son's with the fire department as well, right?
Yes, he's a
Jamesport?
volunteer firefighter for Jamesport, and they are so happy to have him. They have a great group of young men coming in to volunteer now, and it's great to see for our town that the younger generation is getting involved.
Well, following in the footsteps, sounds like mom and dad gave back to the community, and they're doing the same.
That's right.
I think that's great. That's great. For the kids to get involved, and again, they followed mom and dad.
Well, who better than to learn from you? You're a legacy resident.
Well, that's true. That's true. So we're very proud of our children.
I like how your card says, as your town council member, I will never forget I was elected by you. Why is that?
Because I think that sometimes the residents feel that they are not being heard, that it's something that's been very important to me on the planning board, that when people come up with concerns, that I don't interrupt them. I listen to them. I let them talk. I want to hear what they have to say. I want to earn their trust, and I want people to vote for me because I have the best interest of Riverhead at heart.
Right.
This is my town just as much as it is theirs, and we need to work together in order to move Riverhead forward in a positive direction. And if we're not working together, nothing's going to get done.
It's so important. You have to work together. I like that. I like that a lot. And that leads me to you had mentioned earlier about protecting the farmland.
Absolutely. We have the best farms, the open space, the beauty of Riverhead when you drive through Calverton, Wading River, Aquabog, Jamesport, to see all of the open land, and just to see a farm family out there still being able to work their farm.
It's beautiful.
It really is.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I know when I'm the guy on the side of the road having that roasted corn. Let me tell you.
I'll tell you what, my first job was actually in Aquabog on a farm, And it was just when the agritourism started kicking up, and I used to ride a hay truck and in the wagon, and I would tell all the visitors about what was going on with the agriculture, what we were growing and how
That's
long the
great.
process takes. It was great. I really
That's great. I got to tell you. I mean, it's great here. And again, so we're going to go from the protected farmland. I know you mentioned we had a great discussion earlier, and you mentioned traffic.
correct.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, traffic, it is a concern. It does get jammed up in the town of Riverhead going out onto the North Fork. And this is the opportunity that our farmers have to make their money. There was a time that the farmers were really struggling trying to support their family. Their families are not just mom, dad, and 2 kids. They're sisters, cousins, aunts. They have to take care of a lot of people in their family. So this is the time that they're able to make their money. And most of us have learned by now that we just have to prepare for the traffic. I know it's rough. It's really only a few, weekends out of the fall that are really bad. But the fact that we're able to help the farmer be able to sustain their family is so important.
Oh, I think that's why people move there, because of the farms and the beautiful scenery,
Right.
and that roasted corn on the side of the road. It always goes
It
back
is
to-
the best.
It always goes back to
Can't
food
forget
with
the
me.
roasted corn.
I've waited in that traffic for the corn maze with my kids, and I got to tell you, it's worth. It is a lot of traffic, but it is worth it. Everybody goes home with a smile,
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
really at the end of the day, that's what we want. And nobody knows more about it than you after 50 years being there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so impressed by that. And I like your answer when I asked you what inspired you to stay. Now, 50 years, you've seen a lot. What are some of the changes you would like to make?
Well, I love what is going on downtown right now. With
were
the
saying about the
downtown,
square, yes.
Yeah, the downtown revitalization with the town square. We have an amphitheater coming there. We have a great playground that's going to be coming for the children. There's going to be so many opportunities for people to come out for free to come and see live presentations and music in the town square. And, during election season, unfortunately, so many negatives are focused on, and we forget about the positives. And there are so many wonderful things going on, and I want to be a part of seeing them move forward and continue with the good work that our town has been doing throughout the years. So the fact that I'm already part of it gives me, a mile ahead from everybody else to be able to continue moving it forward.
Right.
That's great. That's great. I like that. You were seeing a playground. I heard her say something about music. Do you know anything about music?
I've heard him sing. He's outstanding.
I can sing a tune or two.
I've seen you in the town singing. I told him everything he knows. No.
Schwertl time.
I know you said you have 3 children, and they're all residents in the town, which is great.
They are,
so
yes.
between you get 3 votes right there. Okay.
That's
All
right.
right. Maybe that'll help me out.
I got to tell you, it's really you got some card here. Some resume. I mean, I see the 50 years. I interview a lot of people, and even myself. I'm involved in some political things, and it's always nice to be able to say, I was born and raised here. A friend of mine's a superintendent, and I say, he was born in that hospital. He went to graduated that school. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get a phone call. And I work with him, and he's like, there's a flooding issue on such and such road, and he's like, it's been flooding there for 40 years.
Right. It's true.
So the ins and outs. You've driven all the streets out there. Riverhead, I think, better than anybody. I mean, you really do.
I sincerely believe that to be true. One other thing, I'm also a business owner. I own a title insurance company, Peconic Abstract, located on Ostrander Avenue, right in downtown Riverhead.
Nice.
We've been there for 40 years. It was a family business.
Look at that.
I've been the president since 2008. So my knowledge of real estate is extensive. We specialize in deed and mortgage insurance. I know contracts. I know surveys. So much experience comes with that.
You'd be a great asset to the board. I mean,
I believe so.
You'll
Yeah.
see these contracts coming, and you'll see everything coming through. So again,
Right.
being in that field and seeing all those contracts, you'll definitely be on top of your game
Right.
there. With
Well, that's how I
through.
was able to be an asset on the planning board.
Sure.
So,
I was on a planning board once, so I know you see everything come in and the approvals and what's good for the town and the aesthetics and how it's going to look. And,
Right.
I got to tell you, I think what an asset for Riverhead.
Yeah.
I mean,
thank you.
Definitely. I mean, I consider you a friend. Like, we sat down, we spoke, and I know that you're a people's person, and I would love to see you, in town hall. I think Riverhead they should definitely put a legacy resident like yourself in that seat. I mean,
let's say it again, 50 years.
yeah,
I mean,
come on. That's like a mic drop. Because
50 years.
Yeah,
Drop. I mean,
a lot of experience, a lot of rich experience. I mean, you've seen Riverhead develop.
I have.
Right, so
Yeah, where the town square is now, I actually worked when I was in high school at Sweezy's.
look at that. Look at that. I mean,
And that's where the town square is. So
graduated high school there, went through the elementary, went through the whole school system, prom, you name it, married in the town. I just got to tell you,
Heart of Riverhead
is going to be very lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Because
Thank
I
you.
can see that. I mean, I'm just going to leave off 50 years. I have nothing more to say. 50 years in Riverhead, you take it.
Well, I would just leave off with this last question. What are some of the exciting things people can expect from Joann Waski?
transparency.
I like that.
Absolutely. I plan on being available for everybody, approachable, honest, listening. I want you to come into my office at Town Hall, at our new Town Hall on 2nd Street.
Which is beautiful, by
It
the
is
way.
absolutely
Yes,
gorgeous.
yes.
But I want people to know that they can always come to me for the positives, for the negatives. I'll have an open mind. I want to hear from the residents of Riverhead, all of Riverhead, Wading River to Jamesport. So it's so important to me. I'm the one that you can stop in the grocery store and tell me what's going on with your family. I want to hear everything.
She's a mom, she's a friend, she's a neighbor.
She's Riverhead.
She's Riverhead.
I am Riverhead. From Riverhead for Riverhead.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at joannwaski.com. I am on Facebook under Joann Spanberg Waski. And I think that's all that I have for social media.
The social media. And I know you mentioned earlier about early voting starts on the 28th.
The 28th, yes.
The 28th.
So you can...
Early voting. And do you have any destinations, where they can vote? Or I guess they can go on the Board of Elections and see?
I believe that for Riverhead, it is on Hubbard Avenue at the American Legion.
American Legion. Okay, great.
Yes.
Excellent. So the 28th it starts.
Yep.
And then obviously the 7th is the big day.
Yes,
And-
we need everybody to get out there and vote. It's the most important vote
Yes.
ever for me.
Excellent. Excellent. So let's get the vote out there, everybody.
That's right. Well, this is the Great Report. I'm Mark McLaughlin, George Schwertl. We had Joann Waski today, and I can't wait to see the great future you have ahead of you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I really appreciate your
Thank you
time
for being
today.
on the show. And what a great candidate.
Yes.
We'll leave off, as I said, 50 years.
50 years, mic drop.
Drop it.
Us, who I know, 'cause I'm right here.